Sorry, spoiler.
All right,
What was that? I couldn't hear you there. Go ahead. Right, Goose Arena. Turkey.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Neon City Films. I'm Goose.
And I'm Rich.
And today we're going to be talking about our favorite top 3 films about AI.
Correct.
And just as a caveat to this, the rules we made for this, essentially the movie has to be about AI, not just contain an AI element. So the movie, for example, Alien wouldn't really count because it's not really about the AI in the ship, right?
Correct, yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Is the AI really something the story is driven by, is moved by, and how interesting and how eventful is the AI in the movie?
Right, exactly. So, Rich, why don't you start with your number 3?
Gladly. My first pick is the movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise.
Don't take any chances.
So I found this AI kind of interesting and unique is because A, it comes from a different planet. If you recall the movie, there's a super intelligence that comes and conquers Earth. You really only get to know it at the end of the movie, but I like that it manipulates humans to do its bidding. It then also is tricked by humans and then, spoiler, finally destroyed. I think it's a really interesting concept and the movie uses it well. It also, compared to other movies on this list perhaps, or other AIs, or even the one that we face today, is it coming from a different planet. They were able to outmaneuver it and outsmart it because it wasn't necessarily used to all human tactics, which an AI born on our planet, for example, would know. A ruse would have seen one coming, unlike the one in Oblivion.
That's a good pick. I didn't even think about Oblivion. I think I kind of forgot that it was an AI movie.
It's only a small part, but actually, in the end, it's a cool thing. Yeah.
Well, my number 3, I think, is 2013's Her.
What does a baby computer call its father?
I don't know what.
Data.
Directed by Spike
Jonze. It's a great pick, but it wasn't on my mind.
I love that movie, and I forget that this movie came out 13 years ago. And remember, I mean, AI's been in the imagination for years, but the 2013's Her is so, I feel like, ahead of its time still, in the sense that it really captures that possibility of us really engaging with AI in a way that makes AI feel human, well before all this, Anthropic and Claude and all this came out. And we're currently going through this sort of phase where people are now actually going and finding relationships with AI. It's becoming a thing, so it's pretty prophetic in my opinion.
It's a great pick
as far as AI movies.
Great pick. I think this was a great pick.
And it's filmed beautifully. I love the colors in it, and Scarlett Johansson, of course.
Yeah,
gotta love her.
Yeah,
so.
She's really great in it. My second pick would be The Matrix. I don't have to explain much about it. You all have seen it.
What is the Matrix? The Matrix is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. Human beings are a disease. You are a cancer of this planet. And we are the cure.
Why I find this interesting is you don't really get to know the machines. That's all the AI is called. We don't know how it came to be, who programmed it. We don't even know really its goals, besides it wanting unlimited power from humans, getting energy, and then also eradicating all other humans that might pose a threat. What's so interesting is that the AI simulates our world in order to keep us happy, and then there's also smaller parts of the AI programs that have artificial intelligence as well that then go rogue, Mr. Smith, that then brings the downfall of the machines. I think it's a really, beside it being a great movie, it's a really interesting concept, and I find the AI, even though it's not called that, and they don't even necessarily explain it having like an overall consciousness or being an artificial intelligence, but I think it's a really interesting premise, and there's not really been a movie that uses it just like Matrix.
All right, well, I definitely thought about The Matrix, but I sort of excluded it on my list.
It's too good?
It's too good. Well, the original trilogy anyways, but...
First movie anyway.
But
I'm going to talk about that one.
My number 2 pick was, we're going to go all the way back to 1983's War Games.
Shall we play a game?
Global, thermal, nuclear, war.
Fine.
All right.
What the hell? Is this a game or
is it real?
With Matthew Broderick.
Wow, okay, was
Yeah.
not on my radar. Yeah, okay, good movie.
Yeah, this is a movie. Basic premise is some high school kid, Matthew Broderick, hacks into a government supercomputer. The supercomputer's whole job is to simulate war games. He inadvertently starts this war game with his computer. The AI in the supercomputer sort of starts taking over and doesn't understand the difference between the war game and reality, and starts initiating an actual war simulation with the Soviet Union. So this was, Soviet Union was still a big thing. I think your country was still East Germany back then. So it's really like gritty, like kind of realistic. I know the
kind of
premise,
funny also.
It's kind of funny, but it's also like, oh, like what if this were to happen, you know? And I think at that time people thought this was something that was definitely in the realm of possibility.
It's a great pick.
But it's a fun movie to watch, so check it out.
I've only seen it once. I'll check it out again. My number one, ready for this?
Yeah.
iRobot.
Help me find out what is wrong with these robots.
Dr. Lanning suggested robots might naturally evolve.
I was hoping to see you again, Detective. Think of me as your friend.
Why didn't you just hand the world over on a silver platter?
Maybe we did.
There is no conspiracy. What this is one mistake.
Oh, hell no.
iRobot.
With Will Smith. Specifically the AI being, you have two interesting premise or thoughts here. Number one, you have Vicky, who is the overarching AI that controls all other robots, right? And she takes over the world that as you see in the movie, and it makes all the robots go rogue, and it will kill humans to keep it safe. One, that's interesting, right? What happens if an AI gets in control? You give it all the access you need. They control the military, control the financial systems. What happens then? The other premise that's interesting is that there's an AI that is governed by three principles, right? It can't steal, can't harm humans, has to follow laws. And then there's a robot that can override those rules and get an actual conscience and become sentient. I think it's really cool. I think this movie has a more interesting moral conclusion and dilemma than the movie itself, which is a pretty simple action movie. But then, for example, the ending is pretty profound. I really quite enjoy this movie, and this actually made me think more than I would have expected.
I'm gonna be honest, Rich. I've never seen iRobot.
You've never seen it?
I've never
It's
seen
great.
it.
I mean, if you're looking for what AI could look like, especially once you have humanoid robots, of course on the extreme scale, once it goes rogue and it starts killing people, but it's a very good movie and an interesting premise and a very interesting AI.
Yeah. All right, well, I might have to check it out. I know it gets a lot of flack for some of the visuals.
But it came out, I don't even know how long. But it's a good movie. What's number one, Goose?
My number one's pretty recent. It's 2023's The Creator.
The artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles.
We are this close to winning the war. But the AI are developing a super weapon.
Interesting.
Have you
Okay.
seen The
Yeah, I've
Creator?
seen it.
I love The Creator, and I'll tell you why. First, the visuals are great.
I agree.
It's a beautiful movie. I think the premise of humanity splitting up on their idea, whether or not to embrace AI. In the movie, you have the Western forces who are anti-AI. In the movie, essentially, AI goes rogue and blows up LA.
As it usually happens in all the movies, right?
Spoiler.
Have we not seen enough AI movies?
I guess not.
Yeah.
But in the Eastern countries, and we're talking about a new country in this movie called New Asia, which is basically makes up all of South Asia, Southeast Asia, they are pro-AI. So there's this interesting cultural divide that makes you really think would different cultures approach AI in different ways, and what would humanity look like if there was this pro anti-AI? We're kind of going through that right now in a way. You have a lot of pro data center, anti-data center activists. How is this going to play out? And I think the movie does this in a really interesting way with beautiful visuals and a really good story. And I thought it was a fun movie. So
I agree with you. Actually, now that you're explaining, I think the world and the director said it had so much flavor. There's these scenes. There's this lady in Nepal who's opening a candy wrapper for her granddaughter, and they replaced her with a robot, and this robot opening a candy bar, really neat, And I really agree this movie has a ton of flavor and really explores what if this was real, and actually in a very interesting way really brings it to light. It's this could be our world right now if we had humanoid robots, and also then almost humans that are robots, right? If I recall right, there's like
they're
downloading their consciousness and whatnot. There's a lot of cool things about this movie. It's a good pick. I can get behind that. Yeah.
Well,
man, maybe you've beat me this time. I don't even know if I can compete. You've had some really thoughtful picks. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it. All right. Well, this has been Neon City Films. Please like and subscribe and leave comments if you have any AI movies that you enjoy. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Have a good day.
Thank you.